Here we go. We've got our
It's
countdown. 3, 2, 1, and pills. Off we go here. This first best of three, as Ook mentioned, it's just a level change here, 8 to 11, so a little bit more virus density on their board. And as we look, pretty even on things. Diversity is kind of equal on that top line. Maybe a little bit of an advantage at Alito.
yeah, Flindo was waiting around for a blue, yellow, and he's wanting to do stuff like what he just did, and has managed to keep this board very clean as he's dropped it down to 25 viruses. Both players staying pretty even with each other, JB.
Absolutely. Frank, or excuse me, Adelito. I'm just getting our elite players here confused. Adelito has a little bit of a red logjam on his top line. Meanwhile, the logjam here for Flindo. Flindo now playing a bit of a split board. He's really looking for some yellow help, especially along the bottom of the board. A double yellow across row 2 would be huge. But you see, he is starting to wipe out that right side of the board down to 12 viruses, keeping in time here with Adelito. As again, just one red to go here for Flindo, as Flindo gets those double yellows, as I mentioned in row 2. 7 to 7 here as we just are north of 1 minute.
And I've been watching Adelito. He really needed things to come through in a very specific order, and they did, which is why you're seeing him out at a 120. That was that could have gone so much differently, and the fact that it didn't is a bit of luck and a bit of testament to just the strength of Adelito's play.
Absolutely. And also, Flindo got out right around the 130 mark, and we saw Adelito. Adelito's off to a weird start here, Ook, as there's not a lot of red for Adelito to work with, so he's got to get creative when he does get red pill halves. As you see, the double red immediately going over to that left side, but still just all of those reds really buried here. He needs a lot of blue help. Moving on over here to Flindo's board. Flindo, kind of the same story, needing some blue help across his top line. Really not getting a lot of blue, but I love this combo on the right side opening things up.
Yeah, definitely a weird board for Adelito. He's still not really down to a normal section of it. It's all spires and lack of particular colors in weird places. It's just things that make you go, "Ugh," and
Exactly.
I don't like it. I don't like this board. It doesn't make me happy. Uh, and
Doesn't spark
however,
joy.
no, it does not. So unfortunately, it got left in the game, but Adelito doing everything he can to make peace with it. He would love to get a red yellow and finally gets one. A little too late, but it's so far so good. But it has given John Dat Flindo a chance to get himself moved into a good position. This red yellow, exactly what he wanted. Now he just needs two more blues, one more blue, and he's out at a 308, 307 for Adelito. So
Neck and
it's
neck
two
here.
levels for everything.
Absolutely neck and neck here. These players playing out of their mind, and Flindo knows he's playing against the 1 seed who has been the strongest player all year. Love this combo, expanding his board. Really seeing a lot of players kind of moving over to that style of comboing where they can take up several columns in that combo. Really like seeing play from that. Looks like a bit of a misdrop over there on columns 1 and 2 from Adelito.
Oh yeah, that's not where he wanted that at all. I thought you were talking about Flindo for a second. I'm like, nope, nope. I thought it was a misdrop too, but I can see below it. But yeah, it's a little shaky there, but everything's going to work out okay for him. Um, Interesting, just kind of all the decisions that Adelito makes. I wonder if he was wanting to flip that blue red to go ahead and make the clear on the blues that are vertical. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the most efficient thing for him. But as always with Adelito, I've learned better than to call anything a mistake. It's it's just not safe to do because he's always got plans that I do not understand.
Right. And that's the thing. I was actually discussing this with one of my friends who's getting into this game, wanting to try to play it competitively. And I tell him, he's watching these players, and I think he pointed out in the previous match, like, oh, that was a mistake by Swang, and no, that's not a mistake. Trust me. And 2 moves later, suddenly that one mistake's part of a huge combo. As Adelito out at a 444 here into level 11 first. A lot of yellow on that top line. Some double yellows would be huge for him here. Meanwhile, Flindo needing a lot of red help, and maybe this blue would really open up the board for him. He's going to get that cross. I think that's the right play, opening things up for all of his reds on his board.
Yeah, definitely. You wanna make as much space as you can, especially in this end game where the pills are moving a little bit faster. He is gonna get out at a 516, but yeah, you can tell that head shake. He knows about where he is, and he knows about where he needs to be, and he knows those two places are not one and the same at the moment.
Right, right. And we're seeing some nice comboing here by Flindo to kind of get himself back in. He's got to make up a 14 virus deficit. Good. It's a speedrunner friendly board, though. A lot of double opportunities, but he's getting blues he doesn't need. So he's going to have to get creative again with those blue pill halves. He's starting to here as he's down to 38, but 19 to go here for Adelito as he is continuing to just play out of his mind. Adelito playing out of the country of Turkey, and Flindo playing out of the country of Texas. It actually was a country. Go look it up. But 13 to 33 here, as it looks like this might be well in hand here for Adelito.
Yeah, earlier, Adelito knocked down a combo that pretty much took out the entire top half of his board. It was absurd, is what it was. I still am in a little bit of shock, and this setup, oh, that is chef's kiss, as he's got this blue ready to go. And yeah, there you go. 625. That's a great time for a 6 to 9. This is 8 to 11 though. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And Flindo saw that it's over. Goes ahead and takes the top out. Oh, what do you say about that one? That's just
You
crazy.
play that under 7 minute thing, and you know Adelito's PB on this block is 6 flat, so you've got to play in that 6 to 7 minute block here. It almost feels like those gaps between 6 to 9, 8 and 11. Like you look in 2020 when we first started Speed, there was a considerable gap, and it's just narrowed and narrowed more and more every year as these players get better.
Yeah, comparing this year to 2020 is always a fun thing to try. But here's our 3-2-1 pills as both players are getting out there, and we're grateful for every one of you who have made the last few years as strong as they have been. And that includes both these players here who are trying to dig into some boards that are a little crazy there, JB.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of gone from a all of one color top line to another here, as we're seeing a lot of blue and red for Flindo, and it's mostly blue and well now it's just red for Adelito here as he's trying to get things going. Has that big stack of blue garbage over in that second column. Doesn't really need to do anything with it, so I think that's just going to be a lower priority at this point for Adelito. 13 to 18 here. Flindo really looking for some double help here, some double reds, double blues. Maybe a blue yellow here would be huge. Let's see if he decides to go column 3. He does not. He wants to reduce that drop time. He's down to 14. Adelito down to 8 here as we cross the 1 minute mark.
Yeah, Flindo got a double red right after getting a blue yellow earlier, and it was not the order that he wanted. Sometimes the pills just don't come in the order that you would love for them to, because he ended up
Absolutely.
having to waste that double red. But look at this. This is going to drop down perfectly for him. And yeah, double red blitz exactly when he needs it. But it is still Adelito in the lead as he is already into his level 9. Flindo out at about a minute and a half. That's that's a great time. I want those times. And,
Absolutely.
to play this level block once in a while, that would be nice too. But but
I don't
anyway,
remember the last time I played this level block. I'll tell you that. We've got 29 to 27 here for our players. It is very, very close. Flindo with a little bit of hesitation on that red yellow. Didn't have much to go with it. Making a bracket clear here. Double blue could have gone horizontal on those blues, opened things up in that, made it in that little pocket on the lower left of his board. Decided not to here, as he is going to go possibly vertical on these double yellows. Absolutely down to 22, holding on to a very, very slight lead. Really needing to start address that left side.
yeah, Adelito is I don't like these boards. I don't like the boards he keeps getting, but he keeps finding really interesting ways to set them up. And boy, that red blue was perfectly timed for him. Now he's down to no yellows just about, and but he's getting the blues that he needs. So
Flindo,
far so good.
yeah, Flindo, speaking of blues that he needs, finally starting to get those as well. But Adelito is starting to pull away here. Big lightning rod there for Flindo, and he's down to 9, but it's just 2 to go here for Adelito, and looks like he's going to go horizontal and then vertical, and just to reduce that drop time, and there he goes. It is 1 to 5 now, 0 to 5 as it is Adelito out first at about a 316.
Yeah, that was a quick end for Adelito. Now Flindo gets that yellow red that he needs. He's going to be out of 326. So about 10-15 second difference between these two. But the pill's getting a little bit high for both of them. Really, just a high top line for Adelito, but he's not having any problems with it. Meanwhile, John Flindo needs to not see a lot of yellow for a hot minute. He's got a few things to do with them, but he would probably be very happy not to see any, at least, yeah, not too many.
Flindo really starting to play aggressive as well. I just noticed on this 10, really was digging deep for doubles, really wants to just open up the board. I think he knows he's just playing a little bit behind here on Adelito, just a few viruses behind, wants to just at least maintain pace. Maybe he can get a good run here and take that lead, but it's been brutal here. But I'm really liking this 10 so far from Flindo. Adelito, meanwhile, a lot of reds on that top line. Blocked by a lot of garbage as well on that right side. So he'll have to get creative here, especially with very little access to blue viruses. He's going to have to start thinking about taking down that garbage pile, and he does. It is 15 to 11 here, and a nice triple combo from Flindo with very minimal drop time. That's why these players are so good. You just see the efficiency here, 11 to 9, and now it is 10 to 9 here. Flindo trying to maybe take a lead here, and Adelito now in a bit of a disadvantageous situation, or at least I thought. But there is some drop time to consider here.
There won't be because
No,
oh,
there won't.
yeah, there's that one. Okay, yeah, he had that one at a 506 that he is out, and yeah, Flindo, see, this double red came at just the wrong time for him. Is gonna get the yellow that he needs now, one more red, he's gonna be out. Had some really nice swims earlier, but not gonna get that red until just now, out at a 524. And, yeah, you were saying earlier, I agree that he's gotta be paying attention to what's going on. You gotta imagine he thought, "If I make it to the second
Oh,
round." Oh, yeah, that is not what he was looking for, but is gonna get this double yellow that's gonna allow him to clear under there, and he can save that blue until he absolutely needs to. I think, yeah, this is the time to go ahead and just take care of that. But yeah, that could have been detrimental for John Flindo. Now he's got minimal garbage to take care of, but that's gonna give Adelito all the time he needs to really build this lead.
yeah, and from a mental standpoint, when you're going against Adelito, you're going against a good player, you're fighting for your tournament life on the last level, you make that miss drop, it's going to affect you. And we saw it there. Flindo said something that I probably can't repeat on this stream, but I feel for him. Those mistakes hurt. It's just about coming back from them here, and he's maintaining a good pace. He's not out of this by any means. He's down by 10 viruses, but this looks like this is one of the most fortuitous double red blitzes I've ever seen.
Making a mistake on the last level of a deciding match. I don't know what you're talking about. Uh, but yeah, you're right. And actually, Adelito had a little bit of I'm assuming there was a misdrop involved because there's 3 reds stacked up on top of a yellow. He is not going to bother with doing anything but under clears here. Gets the yellow that he needs. He's out at a 702, and Adelito will be going on to our next round to take the winner of our next game. GG's to both players. This has been a good match. And yeah, commiserations to John Flindo, who has been working really hard throughout, especially the tail end of this year, but just came up a bit short against literally the best player we have seen all year.